Republicans have their own new form of voter suppression. Forget the voters. Let them vote. It doesn't matter. Let them vote. That's what the Republicans are thinking. The secret is going after the people who count the votes. Those are the ones the Republicans are suppressing, and they are succeeding. This article in the New York Times says, the headline is, "After a nightmare year, election officials are quitting." See how powerful intimidation is? Voter intimidation. See? Not suppression, voter intimidation. This is from the New York Times. "After a nightmare year, election officials are quitting," from the New York Times. In interviews, some election officials say they are also worried that a flood of departures in the next 2 years could drain elections of nonpartisan expertise at a hinge moment for American democracy, or worse, encourage partisans to fill the vacuum. They cite moves by partisans alleging that the last election was stolen in Arizona, Georgia, and elsewhere to run for statewide office that control election administration. They're going after election officials. You know how they pack the courts now? Now the Republicans, Mitch McConnell has packed the courts, and the Supreme Court, which had nothing to say about Texas' new abortion bill. If you get enough of these people in charge, you don't have to worry about suppressing the vote. And you do this by intimidating. This is, the fascist playbook. You intimidate good, decent, patriotic Americans who believe in democracy. The Brennan Center, started by Justice Brennan, who is no longer on the Supreme Court, did a report about election officials under attack. It's entitled "Election Officials Under Attack: How to Protect Administrators and Safeguard Democracy." This is from the Brennan Center for Justice. Now, to refresh your memory, Donald Trump is under investigation for trying to flip Georgia. Do you remember this? It was very close. Biden and Trump neck and neck. And then at the last minute, they counted all the votes and Biden won, and Trump immediately insisted that the election had been stolen from him. He called Raffensperger down in Georgia. He called some Republican officials and just innocently, I don't know why they're investigating him, he just innocently demanded, well, this is a tape of him demanding that election administrators in Georgia find more votes for him.
"I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have."
In other countries, that would be grounds for, locking him up forever. But this is America. So he just wants to find, 10, 11,000 votes, one more than is missing. And there's an election official, a Republican, named Donald Schmitt, and he wouldn't budge. This is according to the Brennan Center. He wouldn't budge. And according to the Brennan Center, he's paid a price. This is from Election Officials Under Attack by the Brennan Center. So Donald Schmitt, a Republican, and his family received death threats after this. One text message, which mentioned his wife and children, read, quote, "You lied, you a traitor. Perhaps 75 cuts and 20 bullets will soon arrive." His wife received the following threats via email the next morning, all in caps. "Albert Rhino Schmitt," Rhino, Republican in name only, "will be fatally shot," unquote. And another one that read, "Heads on spikes, treasonous Schmitts." A 24-hour security detail remained at Schmitt's and his parents' houses well into 2021. For their safety, his wife and children left their home after the election. Wow. Would you put up with that? This is Republican on Republican violence. Imagine what it's going to be like in 2022 for the midterms in democratically controlled states. Would you be an election official with this kind of swagger, these threats, these Second Amendment wackos threatening you? Would you? Would you work for the government? This is how democracy dies, folks.
Remember, I'm not the one trying to undermine American democracy. I am the one trying to save American democracy.
In Vietnam, they used to burn a village to save it. That was how they justified setting fire to villages that had been taken over by the Viet Cong. They would set fire to it, and they would say, we're destroying the village to save it. I think that's what Donald Trump has in mind. All this, the Brennan Center says, they conclude, all of this represents a mortal danger to American democracy, which cannot survive without public servants who can freely and fairly run our elections. We must ensure that they feel not only safe, but also supported and appreciated for their vital efforts.
Remember, I'm not the one trying to undermine American democracy. I am the one trying to save American democracy.